Hi there, and welcome to Goal Setting Smart Goals and the Power of Positive Thinking, brought to you by BFC Biz Academy. Okay, so we've all heard about the power of setting goals. I'm sure that if I asked you today what your goals are, you could rattle off a few wants and hopes without thinking too long, right? However, statistics show that goal setting directly reflects success in both your business and personal life. But the power in that goal setting lies with actually writing those goals down. So, committing your goals to paper and actually reviewing them regularly and updating or adjusting as you go along gives you a 95% chance of achieving your desired outcome. So, studies have shown that 3 to 5% of people in the world write down their goals and actually commit to them. That same 3 to 5% of people are the ones who achieve success in business and earn considerable wealth. So, why set goals? Goals require work on yourself, work for your business, and work for others. You cannot achieve a goal, no matter how badly you want it, without being prepared to make a considerable effort. So, what are goals exactly? Goals are clear targets that are attached to a specific time frame and action plan. They focus your efforts and drive your motivation in a clear direction. Goals are different from dreams in that they outline a plan of action, while dreams are just a vision or a wish for something to actually happen. But it's not taking the individual steps to make it happen. If you are ready to invest your time and energy, goals will help you to realize a dream or wish for your personal or business life, make a change in your life, add positive or remove negative, improve your skills and performance ability, start or change a habit, either positive or negative. So it's important that we be smart when setting these goals. So, why set SMART goals? Many business owners have hundreds of ideas whirring around in their heads at any time, on top of many daily responsibilities, right? So, goals help us focus our time and energy on a key outcome at a designated time. Since goals attach that action to outcomes, goals can help to break down big dreams into manageable and achievable sections. Creating a multi goal strategy will put a roadmap in place to help you get your desired outcome. If your goal is to start a pizza business and make 6 figures a year, there are a number of smaller steps to achieve before you achieve your end result. Success does not happen by itself. It is the result of consistent and committed action by an individual who is driven to achieve something. Success means something different for everyone. So, creating goals is a personal endeavor. Goals can be large and small, personal and public, financial and spiritual. So, it's not the size or what the goal is that matters, it's what matters to you. And write the goal down and commit to making the effort required to achieve it. Celebrate wins. So on your roadmap, you should celebrate each completion of that step, no matter what the size of the goal. You should congratulate yourself and your team, of course, by rewarding yourself and your team after each achievement. You not only train your mind to associate hard work with reward, but develop loyalty among your employees. You should also ask yourself if your achievement can be taken to the next level, or if your goal can be stretched by building on the effort you have already made. Consistently setting new and higher targets will lay the framework for constant improvement and personal and professional growth. In one of my past work relationships that I had, I served as a project manager, and celebrating wins at different phases and completion steps of the project were key. It really helped the morale. It, gave us a sense of purpose of what we were doing. It reminded us some projects can be 6 months, 1 year, 3 years. And when you're thinking of that on the grand scheme of things, you really need to pull your team together and say, guys, we've worked so hard for 9 months. We were able to get this software update out to this team, and now we're moving on to the next one. So let's celebrate that. Let's go have lunch. Let's, tell everybody, update everyone in the organization how we're doing. It's as simple as that. So, positive thinking. Think about someone you know who is constantly negative, someone who complains and whines and makes excuses for their unhappiness. How successful are they? How do their fears and doubts become reality in their world? And for those of you who know my story and know about our family and how we're raising our niece and nephew and just a couple other things, like, I know these people. And it is so true when you think about that. And it's, still pray for them every day, but do not surround yourself with that negativity. So we do need to recognize how our thoughts work, though. So, what does the stream of thoughts that run through your mind and sound like and look like? Are they positive? Are they negative? Are they logical? Are they reasonable? Positive thinking and healthy self-talk are the most important business tools you can ever cultivate. By programming a positive stream of subconscious thoughts into your mind, you can control your reality and ultimately your goals. You are what you continuously believe about yourself and your environment. If you focus your mind on something in your mental world, it will nearly always manifest as reality in your physical world. This right here really speaks to me as one thing I speak about whenever I do presentations or I'm asked to speak. My entire existence is based on choices over circumstances. And it is those choices that we're making that are deeply rooted inside our body. It is our choice to stop thinking a certain way, to stop putting ourselves in these situations and start thinking positively. So in order to do that, we must first believe in ourselves. The belief in oneself. So what is that? Positive thinking is a key part of setting your goals. You will not achieve your goal until you believe that you can do it. You can set goals all day, but if you truly at your core do not believe you can do it, you're wasting your time. You will achieve your goals faster when you believe in yourself and the people around you who are helping to make your goal a reality. Successful people are rooted in a strong belief system, belief in themselves, belief in the work they are doing, and belief in the people around them. They are motivated to improve and learn, but also confident in their existing skills and knowledge. Their positive attitude and energy is clearly felt in everything they do. Ever notice how complainers usually surround themselves with other complainers? Well, the same is true for positive thinkers. If you can cultivate an upbeat and positive attitude, you will be surrounded by people who share your values and outlook on life. Like minds, like outcomes. So, how many times have you heard, "That's impossible, don't even bother, you're too old, you're too young, we've tried that, it doesn't work, you'll never get there, you can't do that"? Really? This has been the story of my life. Joining the Navy, my father literally asked me, "Why don't you let your brother do that?" What? We're in 2007, okay? So, and just so many times, like, why are you going to quit your six-figure corporate job and you're working your way up? Don't you want to be no, I don't want to be an executive for a corporate powerhouse. Like, that's just not me. So again, I've heard these things. You've heard these things. We've all heard these things. However, positive thinking and positive influence will provide the support you need to achieve your goals. Choose your friends and close colleagues wisely and surround yourself with positive thinkers. Here's the thing. Think about the time that you were sitting at your desk, when you were working in the workforce, and how did your mind change when you were around an employee or someone that you worked with who was just always negative? It began your thought process. It kind of changed the way you thought about the job. If you were satisfied, sometimes that made you no longer satisfied because of just the negativity that was like getting transferred to you. And That's not what we want. If you are happy with what you are doing and someone starts bringing negativity, separate yourself from that. Or, tell them, hey, I'm good. I don't want to hear it. If you're not happy, go do something else. SMART goals. So, some of you may know what SMART goals are. Some of you have probably heard the term several times and been like, oh, okay, that's just making sure I don't have something outlandish. Yes and no. We're going to break it down a little bit further for you. So whether you're setting goals for your personal life, your business, or with your employees, goals that have been developed with the SMART principle have a higher probability of being achieved. So SMART. The S, specific. So what exactly do you want to do? M, measurable. How will you know that you've reached it? Achievable. A, is it in your power to accomplish it? R, realistic or relevant. These have been both used. So realistic and relevant, both work. Can you realistically achieve it? And relevant. Is it relevant to your bigger picture? T, timely. When exactly do you want to accomplish it? So we're going to break these down a little bit further. Specific. Specific goals are clear and easy to achieve than non-specific goals. When writing down your goal, ask yourself the 5 W questions to narrow in on what exactly you're aiming for. So that's your who, where, what, when, why. Instead of saying, I want to increase my sales, we use the 4 W's. The who is I. What? I will increase my sales by 10%. When? By next quarter. Why? So that I can expand my operations. If you look, we see that we're using these W's to create a completed statement that has the action that we want to achieve with the time that we're planning on achieving it and why we're achieving it. So it's very important that if we're committing to writing down goals, that we use this in the specific to really identify what it is we want to achieve. And measurable. So this is something that is something that a lot of us forget about. How do you know you've achieved a goal if you're not tracking it, if you're not measuring it? Measurable goals help you clearly see where you are and where you want to be. You can see change happen as it happens. So if we're not measuring our goals, we may be 10 months into our 12-month goal and not have taken the steps necessary to make it happen. So the cool thing about measurable goals is that they can be broken down into smaller accomplishments so that you can create that action plan to get there, which is really important. While these things go hand in hand, breaking them down into smaller pieces, you can measure once you've completed this step to get to step B and make sure you're on track that way, just like task and a project plan. And you can revise your plan and celebrate each small achievement. So, for example, say you're aiming to increase your revenue next year by 30%. Well, each 10%, celebrate along the way. So set goals, take steps necessary to achieve each 10%, and then that 30% will be realized in the correct amount of time. And, if you're not reaching that 10% at the, quarterly mark like you had planned, then you may need to adjust your approach there. So maybe take a look at your marketing and your advertising. These are great tools, not just for goal setting, but also managing your business. Achievable, attainable. These are both interchangeable words as well. However, apparently interchangeable is not a good word for my body. So goals that are achievable or attainable have a higher chance of being realized. While it's important to think big and dream big, too often people set goals that are simply beyond their capabilities and wind up disappointed. Goals can stretch you, but they should always be feasible to maintain your motivation and commitment. All right. So say I wanted to complete my first triathlon. but it's been, I don't want to admit it, but it's been about 5 or 6 years since I've even ran a mile completely without stopping. So my goal setting would not be, hey, I'm going to run a triathlon. How about I decide to train for a 5-mile race in 6 months? That way, I'm setting an achievable goal. That goal can be made, and then, okay, 5-mile race, I got this, and I'm going to add something else to it. So in my triathlon, if I'm swimming, yeah, I really need to work on that. So my next goal would be I'm going to swim X miles in 6 months from now. And then you can get to the triathlon. It really sets yourself up and helps you maintain your motivation and your commitment to that end goal. Relevant or realistic. Goals are goals that have a logical place in your life or your overall business strategy. The goals action plan can be reasonably integrated into your life with a realistic amount of effort. For example, if your goal is to climb to base camp at Mount Everest within 1 year and you're about to launch a startup business, you may need to question the relevance of your goal in the context of current commitments. So again, these are for business and personal. Like goals in our personal life are just as important as those in our business life, but we do need to make sure that they go together and that they can be achieved in parallel without conflicting each other. So timely. It is essential for every goal to be attached to a time frame, otherwise it's merely a dream. Check in and make sure that your time frame is realistic, not too short or too long. This will keep you motivated and committed to your action plan and allow you to track your progress. So, for example, we'll go back to the triathlon. It is not reasonable for me to say that I'm going to train and be competitive for a triathlon in 6 months, given that I failed a PFT for my breathing and I'm not going to be able to hold my breath for that many miles. So it's just other things that we have to take into consideration. All of these elements, the SMART, all go together and you can see how they work hand in hand and really help us to break down and identify and make good, clear goals. Okay, so I wrote my goal down and it's SMART. Now what? This section, we're going to talk about autosuggestion and visualization. Autosuggestion and visualization are two techniques that can assist you in achieving your goals. Some of the most successful people in the world use these techniques. And it may seem so simple, but it really does. It goes down to what you are manifesting in your life and your thought process. So some of these people who have admitted that they use autosuggestion and visualization techniques are Michael Phelps, Donald Trump, Wayne Gretzky, Walt Disney, Bill Gates, etc. There are several more, but if you note, this list is very successful individuals. So of course, they had to have their degree of talent and ambition, intelligence, and drive. However, to reach the top of their respective field, they had to use autosuggestion and visualization. Okay, so what's that? Since you were a small child, self-talk has been influenced by your experiences and has programmed your mind to think and react in certain ways. Just think about this. Autosuggestion, think self-talk. So, the good news is that regardless of how you used to talk to yourself previously, whether that be negative, you can train yourself, you can retrain yourself to start having an internal dialogue that is more positive and makes sense and is empowering rather than putting yourself down. So, the constant stream of thoughts and comments that flow through your mind and impact what you think about yourself and how you perceive those situations, that is autosuggestion. It is your internal dialogue. It is what you tell yourself. It's the conversation that you have within. Some of us have it out loud, and that's okay. But that is what autosuggestion is. So what are you telling yourself? Are you your biggest fan, or are you your biggest enemy? And it's very important that you identify that and reprogram if you are your biggest enemy. You want to try? It's pretty easy. Just make sure you're relaxed and open. Sometimes people do this before they go to bed or first thing in the morning, whenever, you're waking up having coffee. Just repeat positive affirmations to yourself about the ideal outcome. I will lead my team to a victory today. I will be relaxed and open to meeting new people at the party tonight. I will deliver a clear and impacting speech. Just the list goes on. I will stand up for my own ideas in the meeting. I will not let them run over me, etc. This is autosuggestion. So visualization. Visualization is complementary to autosuggestion. While you can repeat those affirmations to yourself over and over, combining them with actually visualizing them is twice as powerful. Twice as powerful. Visualization is exactly what it sounds like. Repeatedly visualizing how something is going to happen in your mind's eye. So this is like all the senses. Just think about it. This technique can easily be applied to business. So elements to think about when you're visualizing this. What does the room look like? What do the people in the room look like? What is their mood? How do they receive me? What image do I project? How do I look? How do I behave? What is my attitude? What is the outcome? All these things, it's like writing your own story. And it's writing your own story through the conversation you're having with yourself, but also the things that you are seeing in your mind. And they need to be positive. I mean, you can also do this if you know that, okay, should I send this message to this person, and how should I send it? Okay, if it's a negative message, you might need to think to yourself, okay, so how would they react? What is their face going to look like when they see this? Is there a better way I can say this? So you can use the auto-suggestion and visualization in situations like that as well. But for the purpose of goal setting, it really is, okay, so when I stand up there and I get that reward or award for something that I've worked extremely hard for, I am going to be overjoyed. People are going to be clapping for me. They're really going to feel that I deserve it because they know the work that I put into it, etc. That is an example of visualization. So we're going to review right quick what we went over. So goals are clear targets that are attached to a specific time frame and action plan. They focus our efforts, drive our motivation, and put us in a clear direction. They help focus our time and energy on one or several key outcomes at a time. Goals are more effective when you commit them to paper. It's not the size of the goal that matters. What matters is that you write the goal down and commit it to making the effort required in order to achieve it. And while we're writing those down, we need to make sure that they are smart, that they are specific, measurable, achievable, relevant or realistic, and timely. Positive thinking and healthy self-talk are the most important business tools you can ever cultivate. By programming a positive stream of subconscious thoughts into your mind, you can control your reality and ultimately your goals. Autosuggestion is the practice of positive thinking and positive affirmation used by many of the world's top business and sports individuals. Visualization is exactly what it sounds like, repetitively visualizing how something is going to happen in your mind's eye. So we hope you enjoyed this presentation. We have provided goal-setting think sheets that apply these principles with the positive affirmations, the visualizations, and as well as making sure that it is smart, writing it down, and breaking out the different elements of the goals and setting time frames to those. So after you've reviewed this, feel free to watch the presentation on the workbook so that we can go through it together, making sure that you understand how the worksheets are supposed to work, and you can print them out and start writing your goals down and making some achievements happen.